Oh hey, welcome to Backyard Mechanic. On this episode, which is episode 3, we are going to cover brakes on the Hondas. But this is pretty much the same on the others. They're pretty easy to do. We're going to replace the brake pads on the front of this Honda, and we're trying to beat that giant storm front that's trying to roll in. The good part about the storm front coming in, we got a breeze going on. So it's a little bit, you know, it's not quite as hot. It's still hot down here. But it's a pretty big storm front rolling in. So I gotta try to beat the storm. So I don't know if I can do it in time or not. Let me show you what this thing looks like. Yeah, that's like a monster storm trying to roll in over here. I mean, it's huge. It takes up the whole area. Hear a little thunder in the background. So let's get started before it gets here. And one of the first things you're going to want to do, of course, is to brake the tires free, or the lugs free while the car's on the ground. I've already done that, so right now I'm just kind of loosening them up. I jacked the car up a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and pull the wheel off next. This car had wheel locks on it, so someone didn't steal the 17-inch rims with it. So we're going to go ahead and pull them out of the way. And the tires out of the way, so next we're going to get to breaking down the caliper. Okay, now that you got the wheel off, car's jacked up, all you're going to do is 12mm on these and you just pop it free. So you get it loose like that. Take this off. Actually, before you do that too, you can take a screwdriver, and what you want to do is just pry up on the cylinder just a little bit, so that way it'll help slide off the caliper and the pads come right off. The other thing that you can use is a C-clamp, and I'm going to show you how to use a C-clamp. It's pretty easy to change out your brakes, not that big a deal. Alright, let's get these off here. Set the caliper out of the way. Alright, now once you get the last bolt out, just slide it up and out. Now, this is what I was talking about. See how far out the caliper is right here? So we're going to do a neat little trick. We're going to sit it right up on top right here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now what I usually do is I'll take and I'll pull off one of the old pads. Alright, pull this guy out. All it does on the Hondas, it just slides right out. I'll stick this bad boy just like this. Open up my C-clamp. Right about like that. And I just start pretty much just like this. As you can see, it's starting to push in. And you can also spray a little bit of lube around your seal and stuff, but you want to get it back flush with the caliper. Just like that. Now that's all the way in. Went in with these, used a little C-clamp. You can get these at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, and boom, it's done. They also have a special tool that does slide right in here and it pushes it in, same exact thing. But these are real, I had these laying around, so it wasn't that big a deal. Grab that. Since that one is out, I'm gonna put the brand new pad on there, and it really just, it's so simple and easy. It just goes in like that. Pull out the rear pad. That one wasn't that bad. I mean, it had some wear on it, but this one was pretty much gone. Wasn't much left to it. So go ahead and put the back one on. Slides, clips right into place. Just like that. And then all you do is take the caliper, slide it right up over top. Pull the little floaters out, grab your bolts, snug them up by hand tight for right now. Boy, I hear some lightning coming, so we're trying to hurry up and get this knocked out real quick. See if we can beat this storm. Bottom bolts in. Now, on the Hondas, take an adjustable and just simply What you're going to do is go right there just like that. And alright, top's done. Let's get the bottom done. Like I said, we're trying to hurry up and beat this storm. Alright, now just remember one thing when you get back in the car after you change your brake pads. If you're up on a hill or a slope and everything, before you take it off the emergency brake or unchalk it, you need to pump your pedal a few times, because once you've pushed the cylinder back into, or the piston back into the caliper, you're not going to have any brakes at first. So you have to pump it a few times until you feel some pressure back on the pedal. That leads to why I decided to check the brakes on this car. I got into it to drive it and I noticed the pedal was kind of squishy and it went down a little bit too far. So right off the bat, I knew. So I went ahead and looked, and what you want to do is you want to look right in here, and you should be able to see the pads, because if you see it and it looks like it's really close, you don't have there's nothing left on there. The friction material is gone. So let me show you what you should see. When you look in your wheels, you should pretty much see that there is plenty of space in between there, and that's what you want to look for. Half of the distance is okay, but when you see it to where it's really close, I mean, it's just simple, change it out. I think the brakes on this one cost 24 bucks, 22 bucks. I could have got some ceramics on this for this customer. They're about 45 bucks for those pads. You got some really expensive wheels, it's pretty nice to put the ceramics on there. Ceramics don't put out quite as much brake dust, but this is he wanted to put these are like the economy. We used the Wherever silvers, and for the fronts on the Honda Civics, that is the part number right there. So if you've got a 2001 to 2005, that's your part number. So anyways, that's this edition of Backyard Mechanic. We're going to go ahead and get this wheel back on, and then we are done. Now usually I'll snug them just a little bit before I even put it on the ground with the ratchet, but after that, as soon as you put it on the ground, then tighten it up. I usually tighten these by hand. I don't like to use an impact. Impacts are pretty hard on the actual lug bolts, so. And all I do is just snug it a little bit. That way it kind of equals out the pressure on the wheel before you actually get it on the ground. And what I mean by that is the spacing in this in between each one of the lugs. I know they self-center, but it'll be easier when it's done like that. Now we're going to put it on the ground, tighten it up, and we'll be done. Now we were actually done. I went ahead and did the other side before I even shot this, since you only need to really see one side and how to do this one side. So that is this episode of Backyard Mechanic, and stay tuned for the next episode. Yep, and that's the storm that I was trying to beat, and it is rapidly coming closer and closer, but we finished the brakes just in time. So I beat out Mother Nature this time. Usually she gets me and I get wet or something, but you know, I got it this time.